everyone, Toby here, and as you can see I learned how to add visual effects to videos, so I think I'll be having fun with that in this video and probably upcoming ones, so hope you enjoy it. Other than that, welcome back to my self-found hardcore sorceress part 3. If you watched my previous episode, part 2, I just got up to level 30, instantly respect into Frozen Orb, so pretty much at this point Nightmare is going to be a breeze. And yeah, I just continue on my way to Tristram quest. I do drop a pretty nice amulet, which is 10 faster cast rate and some resistances. That's all you really care about in Nightmare difficulty. Yeah, so I do Tristram, do Andariel, nothing good drops. I reach Act 2. Pretty much Act 1 was a breeze. Once I reach Act 2, I go and get myself a new, brand new mercenary, Holy Freeze. I believe for hardcore, Holy Freeze Merc is just about the only option you can go for. Like, whenever you're teleporting around and you randomly teleport into a pack of mobs, I mean, if you do that, probably nothing is going to save you. But if you do survive their first attacks, then Holy Freeze will, freeze them, chill them, and you won't get hit second time for a while. So that's pretty much one of the reasons why Holy Freeze Merc keeps you a lot safer than just about any other mercenary. And when it comes to damage, sure, like Might or a mercenary will deal more damage, but in practice, you'll be the one who's doing all the killing, so it's kind of pointless to, sacrifice safety for a couple of hundreds, really not more, a couple of hundreds extra damage on your mercenary, which gets then further reduced versus super uniques, act bosses, etc, etc. So yeah, I get a Holy Freeze Merc, and I set my eyes on a couple of things. So first of all, I want to get Spirit Sword, Rune Word, as well as Insight for my mercenary, since I'm having huge mana issues. So for that, I do decide to go and farm some Nightmare Countess as well as Andariel. And overall, it's a good idea to keep in mind that running Countess is a bit dangerous. The tower level is quite dangerous. You have some nasty archers over there. You have, those Blood Clan or whatever. They hit like trucks. So it's best to not just teleport as far as you can each teleport. To keep the distance of your teleport not full screen, but actually half a screen or maybe even a third of screen, depending on how tanky you are. So just simply to not do something as stupid as I did over here and randomly teleport into a pack of mobs. Other than that, what you need to know about running Countess is the way her drops work. She essentially has two types of drop. One is her normal drop, which is literally the same as every single mob in the game. The second one is her quest drop, or you can call it rune drop. So the way these two works is her normal drop, for example in Nightmare, she can drop up to Ko rune. Her quest drop can only drop up to Io, if I pronounce it correctly, well, whatever. So yeah, her quest drop can drop lower runes. For hell difficulty, her quest drop would be up to Ist, her normal drop would be up to low. But the thing is, her quest drop happens pretty much every single time, while her normal drops, in terms of rune, they're just as likely as any other mob, so in practice, not too likely. So, with that said, her two drops, the quest drop and the normal drop, are actually competing against each other. So that means the more normal drops you get, the less runes you will get. So, since increasing player count will increase the normal drop chances, that also means it will decrease her rune drop chances. So essentially making countess the only place in the entire game which you only want to run on players 1, never on a higher player count. Because if you want items from her, if you want keys of hate, I believe, terror, yeah, I think keys of terror in hell difficulty, then yeah, run on, you know, as many players as you can, ideally on player 7. But if you're running countess just for the runes, do it always on players 1. So that's it for the countess. That's all you really need to know. I don't drop anything too godlike out of her. I do get some runes, so I make an edge. Also, somewhere along the way, I do drop gloves, which are pretty nice, with some resistances, etc. And as well, while farming Andy, I do drop from one of the, you know, just random mobs, a 4-socketed sword. So I immediately make Spirit Rune Word, which is absolutely amazing. And with Spirit done, I do reach the 63% breakpoint, which feels a lot better than all the previous ones. Still not as good as 105% faster cast rate breakpoint, but you know, it's still nightmare. Anyway, as I do that, I decide to move on into Act 2, and before I do that, I do spend all my leftover skill points. I spent like 8 points into Cold Mastery. I think for the time being that's okay. I need to really up my fire damage. The decision is between maxing first, you know, Fireball or Meteor. Here I decide to spend some points into Fireball, but honestly, looking back on this decision, I do believe I should have spent my first points into Meteor and pretty much just maxed out Meteor before Fireball. Of course, spending 1 point into Fire Mastery and yeah, maxing out Meteor first, just because you will want to farm something like Mephisto quite a bit in Nightmare or even Bale, and Meteor is much safer option than Frozen Orb, as well as Meteor does more damage than Fireball. You can't really farm Mephisto with Fireball, that'd be just crazy. Anyway, I continue into Act 2, I do all the mandatory stuff, you know, sewers, vipers, maggots, freaking maggots. Anyway, I do all that, move on to Duriel, and his drop was actually godlike. Trangul's gloves, 20 faster cast rate, plus some cold resistances, that's amazing. For self-found character, even though I'm Meteor Sorc, I still think Trangul's are a better option than Mage Fist just because of the resistances. If you're playing self-found, resistances will always be a pain in the butt. So yeah, GG drop on Duriel, and after doing that I do decide to farm a bit more. You know, Duriel Andy, just so I could make insight for my Merc. So I was either looking for a perfect Amethyst to use the cube recipe for a Poleaxe, or just, you know, a plain 4-socketed Polearm. And I don't actually get that, so, you know, I do maybe like 5 runs of each. I don't get anything I want, so I say fuck it and move on into Act 3. And of course, as just any other act, Act 3 greets me with an attempt to kill me. Thankfully I survive, and yeah, I just continue pushing. A couple of things to know in general about Act 3 is, first of all, Grand Charms can start spawning as skillers as early as Great Marsh, Flare Jungle. So essentially Grand Charms start dropping with item level 50. That's where skillers can, you know, be rolled. So if you're looking for plain skillers without any mod, it's a good idea to pick up these Grand Charms and later on re-roll them with 3 perfect gems. However, for hardcore it's not really advised to go for skillers without any mods. I mean, damage is nice, but survivability always comes first. So for my skillers I will always want some life, some faster hit recovery, or, you know, at least strength or dexterity to go along with. So not really looking to pick up these Grand Charms and re-roll as plain skillers. Another thing worth keeping in mind is kind of a bug, a display bug. I'm not even sure how to call it. Basically walk versus run dilemma, I suppose, since Act 3 has a lot of these nasty little buggers, you know, flayers and so on, who just come in gangs and, you know, they simply gangbang you all the time. The thing to know is that when you're running, your defense is set to 0, so all of these little nasty buggers will actually hit you all the freaking time unless you block it. And since you're probably playing a sorceress like I am, your block will be pretty damn miserable. So always toggle, run off, and just walk. I mean, you'll be teleporting anyway, so you might as well turn walking on. And when you're walking, your defense isn't set to 0. So somewhere along the way I was lucky enough to drop a flawless amethyst, which allowed me to cube up all the way to perfect amethyst, which then allowed me to use cube recipe for socketing weapons. I used it on a exceptional poleaxe and was lucky enough to roll 4 sockets. That means I can make inside for my mercenary, and of course I immediately did that. Unfortunately it only rolled 13 to meditation aura. I don't care about the damage roll, I just care about inside fixing my mana issues, and since it rolled only 13 out of 17 possible, it didn't exactly fix my mana issues, it alleviated it a bit, but you know, I was still having those issues. Other than that, I continue with the Act 3, you know, the usual stuff, the quest, council, of course Mephisto, and you know, nothing good drops along the way, nothing noteworthy. And yeah, here I am in Act 4. I do decide not to move into Act 4 just yet. Instead, I continue farming Mephisto a bit, because, you know, at this point you kind of need to start getting ready for Hell difficulty, and unless you get exceptionally lucky with the drops along the way, you will need to do some farming. So Mephisto is an amazing place to farm. You know, you can just bug him and kill him from a distance with meteor, blizzard. Lightning isn't that suitable, but yeah, those two work exceptionally well. So that's what I do, and Nightmare Mephisto can really drop a lot of GG stuff. For example, he can drop an entire Telrasha set except for the armor. He can drop Viper Magi, String of Years, Thunder Gods, SMJ, no, Stone of Jordan, Ravenfrost, Dwarfstar, Garden Angel, Skulders, War Traveler, Waterwalk, Vampire Gates. So all of these are amazing items, and you know, all of them I would definitely be using. So I do farm him, nothing major, maybe 30 minutes of grind. Unfortunately I can't find shit, so I kind of give up and continue into Act 4. But more on that in my next video, because I feel like this video has been long enough as it is. So this is where I'm wrapping things up. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed my content. If you did, please do leave a like or a comment. You know, any suggestions are welcome. I'm still learning, I'm still quite new at this, so I have no idea where I could you know, make my videos better. So please do let me know if you have any suggestions or ideas where I could improve, etc, etc. Everything is sincerely appreciated. So with that said, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, see you guys in my next video. Cheers!